welcome back. Dr. Josh here, and tonight we are covering Magnificent Catshark, Proscyllium, magnificum, as well as the winner of our 2024 Shark Week banner contest. So I'm very excited about this. I think what we'll do is around 9:15 we'll announce the winner just to give people time to hop on and log on. So very excited about this. And I set a timer. Actually, let me make sure I set a timer. I think I did. Yes, I did. Okay. So I set a timer waiting to announce the winner. So very excited about this. Yeah. And then I'll wait for some other people to come on. Just as a heads up, there is a storm kind of in my area. So it hasn't really hit yet. But just in case I lose power, that might be a thing that's happening. But anyway, I think, but we'll press on. So, but yeah. So we've got 15 minutes until the winner announcement, but really happy with the results for this year. And it's really cool that we have a community just to actually do this kind of contest and to actually kind of share their artwork. So very, very excited to announce the winner tonight. Yeah. But tonight we have the Magnificent Catshark, and it's hard to find footage of this particular species because it is actually relatively new to science. But while we're kind of giving people a chance to log on, I did find other Catshark clips that I do want to kind of take a look at, starting with one of my favorites is the chain Catshark, Scalerinus radifer, which is a local Catshark to actually most of the Mid-Atlantic region. So we got like a bunch of different Catsharks for tonight, just because we don't really have footage of the Magnificent Catshark. We do have some papers on it, and we do have some images of it, but it's still a relatively new species, so it's cool to kind of compare with Catsharks in general. So, and there's actually quite a few different kinds of Catsharks. There's the classic ones and Scalerindae, so Scalerinus radifer. The chain Catshark is part of that main classic Catshark family. The Magnificent Catshark is Proscyllium, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's its own family. Called finback catsharks. So it's kind of cool to learn about the differences tonight. But these guys in the footage right now, this is really cool to see, like actual deepwater chain catsharks in their deepwater natural habitat. As you can see, they're pretty sedate. They like to lay on the seabed very comfortably. They're pretty popular in aquariums in the United States. Especially as far as these are great examples of egg-laying sharks. So a lot of aquariums actually have exhibits where you can see chain catshark eggs, and you can kind of see the developmental stages of this particular species of shark. It's a really beautiful species, just with that reticulated pattern, beautiful cream color base with just like the dark bands on the body. So very, very exceptionally beautiful species that is right in our backyard. So oh, I hear some thunder, so we'll hop over. I heard something, so we're gonna hop over to next species. So this is actually a pretty cool channel that I really appreciate, is bringing more attention to the United Kingdom, what is this called, British Sub Aqua Club. There's actually a couple new YouTube channels that are kind of showcasing British wildlife, because I feel like the United Kingdom and British Isles, I feel like it's recently becoming more and more on the map as far as pretty cool places to have unique shark encounters, specifically with basking sharks, especially in Ireland and Scotland. But here, there's a couple of YouTube channels, including this one, that are showcasing just the other really beautiful wildlife that you can see in the British Isles. So these kelp forests, like seals, opportunities to dive with seals. Ooh, that's a nice spider crab hanging on to a kelp frond. Not as familiar with these fish, but here is a cat shark. This one I should know. I believe this is Galeus. Let me make sure. I'm going to look this up. Using copy of Sharks of the World, which is the prize for tonight's winner. I really should know the species. This one's a major Atlantic species. Who is this?
And I could probably look in the comments, and please leave a comment if you know this one, because there's so many kinds of cat sharks. Who is this guy? The small spotted cat shark? Do I have that right? Let's see. Or the freckled cat shark. Oh, look at him just chilling there. So very approachable. Well, I'm just gonna pause here just so... Here we go. Small spotted cat sharks. Okay, small spotted cat sharks. Gotcha. I really should know that one. That's a very popular species. Hi, Mingus. What's up? Hello, hello. Happy Monday to you too. Hope you had a really great weekend. So I don't know if you were here at the very beginning. We're gonna announce the winner at 9:15. So I'm really excited about that. There is going to be a storm rolling into my area right now later on tonight. So I'm going to announce the winner kind of early just to be on the safe side because I don't want to lose power before that. So, but I'm really excited about this year's submissions. So, and while we're waiting, giving people a chance to come online, we're checking out cat sharks. So. I do want to review this one again, just because it's like, I know this is the small spotted cat shark is such a popular Eastern Atlantic species, and I really should have known it when I saw it. But since like I'm more familiar with like the Western Atlantic side of sharks, but this one is really cool. It's cool to see that it's like a shallow water kind of cat shark, because I'm kind of used to cat sharks being more in deep water. So it's cool to see one, exploring the kelp forest and shallow seas of the British Isles. Lots of really cool diving opportunities, and actually probably snorkeling opportunities with this particular species. So this is glorious footage by BSAC, so British Subaquatic, what was it? Sub-Aqua Club, British Sub-Aqua Club. So as you can see very nicely in this footage, cat sharks swim at a very sinusoidal movement, so they kind of have almost like a serpentine quality to the way that they move. And their body structure is very helpful for getting into those nice little crevices and rocks, either to hide from predators or to seek out prey. So, and I love that the scuba diver is just chilling with this particular small spotted cat shark, lying very calmly on the seabed. So it's really amazing to be able to get close to this kind of species. Very, very approachable, very unafraid. I love like the kind of like the saddles, like the it's such a strange pattern where you have like those spots, but then the saddles on the back and on the belly. So yeah, very, very cool shark. All right, this one now. This is much closer to tonight's species. Oh, thank you, Mingus. Hopefully the storm is mild. Yeah, thank you. Because I remember earlier this year we had that big one that completely just ruined the stream. So I think we're gonna beat it for this year. But this is a finback cat shark, and this is actually kind of cool to see the difference between this and like Scalerinus, like the classic Scaleridae. This one is closer in. It's more closely related to the Magnificent Catshark. It's in the same genus, Proscyllium. And one thing you can immediately notice is that it has kind of more prominent dorsal fins. So these fins are a little bit higher on the body, a little bit more forward on the body, and a little bit taller relative to the rest of the body, which is pretty cool to see. It almost is reminiscent of a classic hound shark, like a triachid. So there's another shark in this tank that looks like a bamboo shark of some kind. This species, Proscyllium haberii. Let me see what the English name for that is. But just chilling on the seabed, or not the seabed. This might be actually like a tank. Yeah, finback and false cat sharks. So, sorry, finback cat sharks. This is definitely its own family. This one is the graceful cat shark. There we go. So Proscyllium heberii is called the graceful cat shark. Gotcha. So, love the irises on the eye, by the way. So, but finback cat sharks are their own family, Proscyllidae. There's 2 species of Proscyllium, 3 species of Iridacnus, and then 1 species of Tenacious or Tenacis. But the big thing that I can see is definitely like how prominent those fins are on the body. And it's kind of cool to draw attention to this family because I feel like cat sharks, it's very easy to lump them all together in one collective, and to kind of realize that there's pretty significant degrees of differences between the families. I think that's really helpful. So, now this little guy is adorable. Definitely want to bring attention to him. This is the black spotted cat shark, Haliluris burgeri. There we go, burgeri. Okay, Haliluris burgeri. So, I believe this genus is related to the sharks that are called Isaacs or Eddies, like the Happy Eddy in South Africa. But this little guy is adorable. Really rounded, small features, little itty bitty fins, little black spots, and such a cute little snub nose. So definitely wanted to just kind of like, do a shout out to this species. It's kind of cool to see his gills are moving a little bit. He was doing a little bit of buccal pumping earlier. This one is a male. You could also see little claspers on this body as well. So, oh my goodness. And then one more video and then we'll announce the winner. So, this one, Suffolk Wildlife Trust, definitely want to subscribe to that. A cat shark on Jane Wreck. I can't tell what species this is. Let's see if there's something in the comments. Small spotted cat shark. So it's the same species as the British Isles video, but it looks like this one has a different kind of color pattern. Where and that can happen. You can have sharks of the same species that have varying tones. So this one, wow, this is a really cool clip. This one actually may kind of be like a darker hue, which is also why, for the most part, color is not really a good way to identify sharks. For the most part, it depends. If there's a shark with a complex pattern, that's a good way to identify species. But otherwise, color itself could be a really unreliable feature. Body structure, like fin positioning, is more reliable as far as telling shark species apart. So, one more view of this small spotted cat shark. You can still see the spots on him, but they seem to be a lot, like faded away quite a bit more. And you don't see the saddles as you did in the other clip. So, but this channel is called Suffolk Wildlife Trust, so I'm assuming that's meaning Suffolk, England. We're referring to Suffolk, England. Where I live in Virginia, we actually do have a lot of English names for different cities as well. We have a Suffolk, Virginia. A lot of the English names are like Norfolk, Virginia, Hampton, Yorktown, named after York, England, or York County. Of course, Jamestown, James City. So, a lot of English names around Virginia. Kind of fun random trivia. Okay. So yeah, we did a little tour of cat sharks. I think that's enough stalling. So, yeah. Yeah, this is a good point, Minges. I love all the dots on its back help it blend in the background. So, yeah. But, alright. So, and sorry, before I really get started, here is tonight's species, the Magnificent Catshark. So this is one of the few images of the species. Unfortunately, this one is a little bit more faded. In life, it's probably a bit more vibrant, but in illustration, certainly, it's more of like this vibrant orangey color. But it's really cool to see. This is Proscyllium magnificum and Magnificent Catshark, and you can still see the prominent fins, just like in its cousin, the graceful catshark. And you can see that being kind of a way to tell it apart from other kinds of cat sharks because it's a little bit reminiscent of hound sharks. So this will be tonight's species, and most of what we'll do is going to be related to that. So, but before we do that, I'll take my alarm off because just between giving people a chance to log on and then also just being mindful of the storm. So if I suddenly black out, it's just there's a storm in the area, so I apologize in advance if a blackout happens. But just to be mindful of that, I think it's time to announce the 2024 winner of the Shark Week banner contest. So this is a really cool year, and it's really cool to see like year over year, just the changes in our community, and how many species we've covered, and how the themes have morphed and evolved. So really loved just kind of like having another year of the contest. And this year's winner is actually a newer viewer, and I'm really happy with the submission. Is Mingus. So congratulations, you are the winner of the 2024 Dr. Jaws Shark Week banner contest. So this is a really cool banner. There's so much I love about it. I think before I dive in, just want to say congratulations. You will be receiving the grand prize of the Sharks of the World, copy of the Sharks of the World book, a copy of the Bull Shark Compendium, which is one of my books. The banner will be on the YouTube channel for the next year. I mean, like starting next stream onward. It's the new banner of the official Dr. Jaws YouTube channel, so I'm super excited about that. And then finally, a megatooth shark fossil. So this is a Todus, also known as Carcocles anguistidens. It's a cousin of the Megalodon, collected from South Carolina. So that will be coming to your mailbox. So I will reach out to you just directly as far as just shipping information. But congratulations, all that stuff is coming your way. This is a really cool banner. I'm really happy with it, and just thank you so much for this submission to the contest. It's super cool. So diving into it more deeply, there's a lot that like I really love about this, and like there's a lot that it's like unexpected, where it just looks so like. This looks super clean. I think that's one of my favorite things about it, where it's just like everything is like looking so smooth, and like I really love the nod to the different time zones, as well as just like the live icon every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 1 a.m. UTC. So it's just so cool to see this. And also the logo is so awesome. It's like adorable, but also like really creative and really fun. I love how the J and the S are diving into the water. My favorite thing is like the W. It actually looks like teeth. It's so clever how you arranged it, as far as like the W's are stretched out to make it look like this little shark has teeth. It's also a really cool logo, as far as just like it's kind of. It's compact, where you can definitely tell it's a shark, but it's also like just very. I mean, it's this perfect blend of like compact and detailed, where you've got this like really cool shark, clearly a shark, but it's also like perfect for like a logo icon. And I really love the banner size, science, philosophy, sharks. That is absolutely my style, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. This banner looks awesome. I'm very excited to start with it. So I will upload it. I should be able to do it tonight, and if not, by tomorrow. And then that will be the banner throughout next year and 2025, and until the next Shark Week contest. So super excited about it. So thank you, and also thank you for this logo. I really appreciate. This is like a brand new logo. That I love to use. So thank you so much. I am actually going to update my YouTube logo to be this. I was not expecting like a logo, and it looks so good. I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to use it. So the red tooth era is subsiding. I really appreciate this new Dr. Jaws logo, mostly because this came from the community. So like, you guys are awesome. Doing these shark study parties with you guys has been. Like, this is probably my favorite thing on the channel in general. I mean, just like, I've done a lot of random projects on this channel, but these shark study parties, my absolute favorite. So thank you guys so much for a wonderful year. I'm really happy to have our second annual contest, and congratulations again, Mingus. Thank you so much for this awesome banner. It's so clean and like very classy, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. So. All right. Well, I will again reach out to you directly for shipping stuff, shipping information for your prize, and yeah. So let me catch up on the comments. Sorry, I was just focused on that, but yeah, yay! Oh man, yeah, no, you deserve it, man. Thank you. Like, oh, but the red tooth is so iconic. Oh man, I'll weigh it then, because it's like that red tooth logo has been with me forever. But the banner for sure. I mean, the banner is going to be the new banner, absolutely. But thank you. I'll sit on that, because I know the red tooth has been with me forever, and it's been like it's just. I'll sit with that. If you guys like it, I'll keep it. And just let me know in the comments either way. But like, just this. Oh, man. Oh, thank you, Minjas. Yeah, I'm so happy that you're a part of our community, and that you found us as well. And just like, it's been super fun to do these parties with everybody, and like to have you included. It's so cool. So. Man, that entry was awesome. So thank you so much. I'm so happy you're excited. I'll reach out directly as far as like shipping for the prize box. Super excited about that, including copy. This is the book that I use for most of the streams this year. I have like a different one for last year, and then this one's just so much easier to kind of reach. It's actually a really good guide, the Pocket Guide to Sharks of the World. So that will be coming your way. So congratulations, man. This is just really, really, really excited, and I'm glad you're excited as well. So yeah, this is just the banner's awesome. So thank you. So all right. So with that, I think we can dive in to the Magnificent Catshark. I'm very happy to announce the contest winner before the power goes out, if it does go out. So we'll see. What time is it right now? You can check. 9:21. So we made it. We're 21 minutes in. Fingers crossed that we can continue to stream. We'll see. Again, if everything blacks out, it's a storm. So we'll see how long we last. So with that note, let's dive in to the Magnificent Catshark. So. Proscyllium magnificum. We'll check out fish base first, because fish base is the classic. So, Latin for noble or splendid, referring to its strikingly beautiful color pattern. So let's see if we can get some photos of this species. Oh man, this is party music now. Alright, so not a lot of photos in life, but because that individual is looking a bit darker. And usually, we've talked about this before, but sharks, when they get stressed out, they start to lose their color. So the vibrancy, the sheen, if they are deceased, the color fades. So when they're in life, they have a beautiful iridescent glow, or not glow, but like a beautiful iridescence to them. Everything looks quite a bit more robust and healthy. So we're seeing darker images of this, but here's one that actually looks a lot better. Here we go. Yeah, the lighting on this is better, and you can kind of start to see why this species gets its name of Magnificent Catshark. So, there we go. There we go. Okay. Oop. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, so you've got this really complex pattern. Like this beautiful, like, kind of, I guess, like, it's... You want to almost say it's like a band, but it's kind of like, I guess, like a circle or a spot comprised of all these other blotches that are really compact. And then down the body, you have these other bands, but then you have like this wonderful, like, kind of like, almost like a jaguar leopard pattern on the fins. And it's like, I love like the variation between like the large spots, very small spots, and then large spots again. It's a very complex pattern. So that kind of indicates that this shark might live in a very spatially complex habitat. So that would be like maybe coral reefs or kelp forests, like areas that have a lot of like layering, nooks and crannies, like a lot of places for it to hide and blend in with like pebbles or like just like rock structures, coral structures. So the more complex the color pattern, the more likely it probably spends a lot of time in a seabed environment. And you can tell that from the body too. This is not like a very active swimmer. This is a species that likes to spend much of its time conserving energy, probably lays down on the seabed for a while, like most cat sharks. And what's kind of cool is, like, as far as the color pattern observation, you can apply that to other shark species, like blue sharks is a great example. This is like the polar opposite of a blue shark, where blue sharks have that beautiful blue pattern, or not pattern, like that beautiful blue color that's pretty uniform along the body, where you have the blue back and then the white belly. and it's just that uniform color. And that makes sense because blue sharks spend most of their time in the open ocean. So, that's a very structurally simple environment where it's just open water. And you have sunlight from the above, the deep water below. So if you look at a blue shark down from the top, it blends in with the deep water below. If you look at a blue shark from below, the white belly kind of blends in with the surface sunlight. So very simple, very, very simple environment, and therefore very simple color pattern. With this species, a coral reef environment or a kelp forest environment is much more spatially complex and structurally complex, and therefore the color pattern is a lot more complex to help it maximize its ability to camouflage itself, which is really, really cool to see. So, and it's kind of cool little, not like a rule, but kind of like a guideline to, it reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, they're more like guidelines than rules, but like it's kind of like a guideline as far as, for sharks, just color can indicate habitat. Just like tooth type can indicate diet, or, dorsal fins, body structure can indicate behavior, where it's like a shark that is more robust and compact and has like equal-sized caudal fins is probably a fast swimmer, like a mako shark, like a very active hunter. Whereas a shark like this, which is a lot more like kind of like a relaxed body structure, like, more like snake-like, more serpentine, more elongate, with the upper lobe of the caudal fin much longer than the lower lobe. This is probably more of a relaxed swimmer that probably lays around on the seabed a little bit more and conserves energy and just navigates the nooks and crannies of its coral kelp forest home. So, yeah. So, oh yeah, I just saw your comment, shark rave. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, absolutely. Let me start that, Minjus. This community is so fun. I love how everyone brings a new perspective to each topic. Yes, everybody, like that's what I love too. Everybody has like a different niche, like, which I really, really appreciate. We've got some fossil people. We've got kind of more like biodiversity people or like ecology people. Everybody's a little bit different, and I really, really love that about the community. Oh, interesting. The pattern feels so human in a way, like so intricate it almost looks like someone delicately carved it. Really interesting observation. Yeah, and that's actually really cool that this is such an, like, for human eyes, it's such a aesthetically pleasing pattern where there's something about the arrangement of like the circles in relation to the body, like the evenness, the bilateral symmetry of the spots. Like, there's something that's very like what's the word? Appeasing? Not appeasing. Appealing. There we go. Appealing. There's something very appealing about this pattern. So, and it's kind of cool when you think of like maybe a lot of like ancient patterns, maybe inspired by older civilizations being closer to animals, or like just, I don't know, just like as far as like art and artistry, how much of kind of our sensibilities are influenced by just natural patterns and like our appreciation of natural patterns. So I think it's a really cool observation. This photograph is kind of, I wonder if I can get closer to this. This is an interesting photograph because that almost looks like a recently deceased or perhaps live individual, because you can see kind of a bright color in the eyes. So this actually could be an individual who may have been recently hooked, but I know it's a little bit grainy, but I really do love that you can see very clearly the eyes on this animal, and there's these really bright, like almost what's the gemstone? Like is that I'm trying to remember, like opal, like opaline eyes, if I have the color right, but really, really beautiful, like just like this like really vibrant, almost kind of like olive color, like olive, like electric yellow greenish color. So, and one thing I love about sharks that are in like the cat shark, hound shark area, and the finback cat shark is kind of like a interesting middle ground between cat sharks and hound sharks, is that those eyes, they have like such a unique, I want to almost say like a mosaic quality to them, as far as like they're just these really elongate, brimming with energy, just very artistic, very beautiful eyes. Like I it's hard to describe with like kind of the hound sharks and the cat sharks, just like what that quality is, but there is something about them that is, I think, is very aesthetically pleasing. And it's really cool to see a shark swimming with this color pattern, with these kind of like confident looking like high fins, and like this just beautiful eye just kind of silently swimming on the seabed. It definitely deserves its name, Magnificent Catshark. So very, very, very cool species. Oh my goodness. Should I X out? There we go. Yeah. Let's take a closer look at the jaw. Oh. Maybe this one? Can I not get into this other one? Oh, okay, I can. Alright. So the teeth are very small, and they're functioning kind of more like a bar, kind of like the dusky smoothhound, Musculus canis, which is a hound shark. It looks like kind of like just like a band of teeth, like a band of really tiny teeth, so the teeth can maybe work together as kind of like a plate. And it almost kind of is reminiscent of like, does this species maybe eat like shellfish? Does it eat like crabs? Crabs, I would think, would probably be the primary prey item, is my guess. Just based on these are very small teeth, but they kind of make like a bar in the jaw. So maybe like the jaw kind of works as like this one unit that might be good for like kind of cracking and crushing shells. Let's see other observations here. Pretty uniform tooth type. It's kind of hard to see a difference whether it's anterior or posterior part of the jaw. So that also might kind of lend to maybe it uses its jaw as kind of like a singular piece. This is damage, like jaw damage. This is probably where, unfortunately, this individual is hooked by a fisherman. So you can kind of see the ampullae lorenzini, so the electrosensing organs, like these little dots here and there. You can kind of see that here. Right, make sure. I think as far as photographs, these are most of the photographs we have for fish space. We'll go back to the main fish space page. I was gonna say they remind me a bit of cat's tiny teeth. I remember it's called a cat shark. Yeah, you know what's kind of funny? I wonder. I forget where cat sharks get their name. I feel like it's the eye, where the eye has the vertical pupil like a cat's eye. I think that's the origin of the name, but I could be mistaken. So let's see. These are kind of more detailed mystics, which we really don't need to go into details for this species. We can say dorsal surface and sides with a striking color pattern consisting of numerous dark spots and blotches, some equal or larger than eye diameter, white spot on body absent. Okay. No notes on biology. First discovery was 2004, so that is the year Shrek 2 came out. So, like, also just sidebar, isn't it amazing how Shrek has just completely dominated? I don't know if it's like meme culture or just like, Shrek is a pillar of our society. Shrek is life. Anyway, Magnificent Catshark, Proscyllium magnificum. I'm trying to think of what else. 2004 was this gotta be another movie than Shrek. There was Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban. I feel like there was a movie in 2004 that I really like, and I can't remember what it is for the life of me right now. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, random tangent. Magnificent Catshark, Proscyllium magnificum. On IUCN Red List, this is a near threatened species, so relatively doing okay. Found in Andaman Sea, Bay of Bengal. This is, where is this? Myanmar. Okay, so Myanmar, and would this be considered Thailand? Okay, Myanmar and Thailand. So, and it looks like it's very limited distribution in these reef areas. It's kind of interesting that the very, very specific habitat notes here, or as far as like very specific. Very, very specific. It's not a general range. It's like very specific sites. So these must be. My guess is these are associated with specific reef sites. This is kind of like near a shelf area, but shallow enough where this could be a reef. And same here. This almost looks like a shelf area that I'm assuming is a coral reef. So let's check out. I am kind of curious about the habitat in detail. Oh, you know what? I could be mistaken. The upper depth limit is 141 meters, so that seems a little bit deep as far as corals go. And the lower depth limit is 300 meters. Interesting. Let's check out the habitat and ecology in detail. The Magnificent Catshark is presumably demersal, so that's kind of bottom dwelling, on the edge of the outer continental shelves at depths of 141 to 300 meters. The maximum size of 49 centimeters. It's pretty small. Reproduction is presumably oviparous, so egg-laying. Nothing else is known of its biology. There are no age estimates for the family Proscyllidae, and related families are difficult to age. Okay. Let's see. IUCN Amaryllis is really cool, where it will break down habitats in a classification scheme. So for this species, it's saying it lives in subtidal sandy environments, subtidal sandy mud environments, and then marine deep benthic continental slope bathyal zone. But that's so interesting. Like, the color pattern is so complicated that you would think this is a reef dwelling species just based on how complex that color pattern is. So, but that depth limit, that's a little too deep for corals, because if you remember, like the brightly colored corals, those have an algae in them called zooxanthellae, and the zooxanthellae need photosynthesis. They need the sunlight, or they need sunlight in order to photosynthesize. So they need to be closer to the surface. This is why coral reefs are such fragile habitats, and also very popular shallow water habitats, because those corals need to be close to sunlight in order to make food, or for the algae within them, the zooxanthellae, to make food. So there are deep water corals that don't necessarily need to be close to the sun, but they're not as diverse or biodiverse as the shallow water coral reefs. And 141 meters, that is still in the sunlit zone. That is technically the sunlit zone, because the depth limit is 200 meters. But still, it's just kind of interesting that the shark doesn't seem to be in coral habitat, because that color pattern is so complicated. Like, I feel like, and even if it's not coral, it just feels like this is a species that would benefit from a structurally complex environment. So we'll keep reading. Maybe some research will point to something different, but let's see. I'm going to take a swig of, I have a bizarre combo of, what do I have? Coffee, draft latte, and then kombucha. So, my younger brother has been turning me on to kombucha, and it's like, it's pretty good. My girlfriend doesn't like it as much. Actually, no, she kind of likes it, but she also criticizes it. So, because it's a weird taste. It is a weird taste. She is absolutely correct. It's a strange taste, but. Also actually, yeah, no, I'm not gonna make a comment. It's just like, it's kind of a funny bottle. It's like an actual glass bottle. I swear it's kombucha in there. So, but anyway, yeah, Minges, good point. I'd like to assume such a complex pattern would make it obvious in any environment other than the coral reef. Agreed. So, it could be. Maybe the habitat that it lives in is kind of like a shell bed habitat. Like, maybe in this part of the world, there's more like kind of shell littering. Because like when you are, because like when I go like snorkeling over kind of like very very densely packed shell beds, it is a structurally, like visually, it's a very complex looking environment, and it's pretty easy for fish to kind of camouflage themselves in that environment. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what we can find as we learn more about the species. So here's sharkreferences.com. Let's see. Kind of the same information as fish base. Habitat: pelagic, oceanic, marine depth range. That's a little too general, and no new information. So pretty new species. Oh, I think before we continue, let's double check the status. Why is the species near threatened? The Magnificent Catshark is a small cat shark that occurs in the eastern Indian Ocean in the northern Andaman Sea off Myanmar, Thailand, and the Andaman Islands and Nicobar Islands in India. It is demersal on the outer continental shelves at depths of 141 to 300 meters. The species is a bycatch of demersal trawl, deepwater shrimp trawl, and longline gear. There is no local consumption of the species due to its small size, and is mostly discarded but may be retained at times for animal feed. Oh. There's a long history of overfishing of inshore populations, and fishing pressure may be rising and extending offshore into deeper waters across the species' entire range. Trawl surveys undertaken by the Norwegian research vessel Dr. Fridtjof Nansen in 1978 to 80 and 2013 showed a 50% decline in catch rates of Elazaranx between surveys. This small species may have refuge at depth and in 2 marine protected areas and in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Overall, it is suspected that the Magnificent Catshark has undergone a population reduction of 20 to 29%. So as far as sharks goes, that's not that bad. Over the last 3 generation lengths, 45 years, due to actual levels of exploitation, and is assessed as near threatened, close to meeting vulnerable. So it's always concerning when you get to this language where it's like close to meeting vulnerable, so it's close to being in trouble. It's not quite there yet, but it's really cool to see that it does live in marine protected areas, which are so beneficial. Marine protected areas are such a great concept. We've talked about them a lot this year, I feel, but just as kind of like a refresher, these are a win-win as far as conservation goes, and then as far as like fisheries go. Where in a marine protected area, you cannot do any kind of fishing, you can't do any like disruption of that habitat. So you create a refuge for very valuable fish species to mate, breed, grow, like just this really safe place for them to grow to larger sizes, to reproduce in larger numbers, and then what kind of eventually bleeds out of that marine protected area, that's fair game. And so in a way it's like an investment for more fish for the future. So it's a conservation win as far as you have areas of ocean that are unpolluted, totally protected, and that give fish a refuge, which makes conservationists happy and it also makes the earth happy. But it's also a fisheries win because, kind of like you're saving your money, like you're also investing in the fish to grow to a larger size so that when eventually they migrate out of the marine protected area or they, reproduce and they have their offspring, exit the marine protected area, they are available for catch. And so they enrich nearby fishing grounds, because they're this off-limits environment. So it's a really great concept, and for this shark specifically, it's really encouraging that it's part of its range overlaps with this area. So it's good to see. So if we have time, I would like to check out kind of the marine protected area of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in particular. I wonder if I can search that actually. Nicobar Islands. Lots of notes on marine protected areas in general, but not one for that area specifically. So I think maybe I can Google that later. But we'll press on with this shark species specifically. So, but yeah, I'm glad that part of its range is in a marine protected area. So here's a cool little pamphlet on Proscylliidae. So this is the finback catshark family. I mentioned this earlier, but we have tenacious, Ctenacis. So I don't know if that's tenacious, tenacus, but I think you can say tenacious. So Aerodactylus and then Proscyllium. So these are the 3 genuses in the family Proscylliidae. So Proscyllium, Latin in front of, probably referring to the far forward placement of the dorsal fin compared with scyllium. So again, I mentioned that this group of sharks has pretty tall dorsal fins as far as cat sharks go, and they're actually a little bit further up in the body, so it almost looks like a hound shark. Proscyllium magnificum is our species, Latin for noble or splendid, referring to its strikingly beautiful color pattern. Very cool. There's two other species here. So Proscyllium haberii, which we saw here. We'll take another look at that. As far as footage goes, this is the closest relative we have for tonight. This is the classic finback catshark, or the graceful catshark. Beautiful eyes, beautiful color pattern. It's cool to see like other sharks kind of like photobombing the video as well. I'm glad there is footage of this particular species, because this is a close approximation of how that magnificent catshark may look or act in life. So. Okay. Haberii, in honor of German physician, anthropologist, and natural history collector Karl Albert Haberer, who collected holotype. So meaning they collected the first individual of that species. There's another one, Proscyllium venustum. Yeah, venustum. Latin for beautiful, probably referring to its spotted color pattern, as reflected in its local Japanese name, Hyozame, meaning leopard shark. Oh, interesting. Okay. Treated as a junior synonym of Proscyllium haberii by some workers. So Proscyllium venustum and Proscyllium haberii may be the same species. Proscyllium magnificum, our catshark, the magnificent catshark, may be its own thing. So, very cool. This is, I think, just kind of, what is this blog website? Just want to see if they have any notes on this, because they did mention this catshark. Reported first time from Indian exclusive economic zone. EEZ is the exclusive economic zone. Every country with a maritime border has one. Off Andaman Islands in the Bay of Bengal. 2 specimens caught by deep sea trawlers off south of Sentinel Island to 300 meters and landed in Junglingat Fishing Landing Center. Port Blair formed material for the second report of Proscyllium magnificum after original description of the first report from India. Okay. Interesting. Here we go. I think this is a guide on how you can tell these species apart. So, oh, and we can actually look at a lot of this is identification guide to sharks raised in skates in Southeast Asian region. So, we'll start with our species and we'll kind of look around, kind of take a tour of other sharks in the same area, because it's cool to see just the biodiversity. Oh. Min just can't personally stand in kombucha. Oh, exclusive economic zone. Yes. It's such an important concept, because it's like, it is a tongue twister, but it is a really good concept. So, oh gosh, I always forget this. I think it's 200 nautical miles off the coast is the EEZ. And then if there's 2 countries that are close together, my favorite example is Bahamas and United States via Florida. The zone is the midway point between them. So, or the border of the zone is the midway point between them. So, and what it is that those waters are considered that country's territorial right to use for like fisheries resources or for creating marine protected areas. Everything outside that zone is international waters where kind of like anything goes. I mean, it's just like international waters. You can have any kind of, if I understand it correctly, you can have any kind of vessel out there fishing anywhere, or just it's like kind of free game. So if I understand that correctly, so and I believe this is correct. So if a Chinese vessel is in the American exclusive economic zone, they cannot fish there. But if they're outside of the zone in international waters, I think technically they can. So it's a very important concept. And what's kind of interesting is like I think it is helpful, or I think it is a good foundation, and it is relevant in the sense that the 200-mile mark or the boundary of the economic zone is more often not associated with just the continental shelf anyway, where most of the productive fishing occurs anyway. So that those international waters since they're the open ocean, for the most part, they're kind of barren-ish, you know? It's almost like Antarctica, where Antarctica is like, there are bases, but it's not really there's no countries, you know? There's no territorial rights per se in Antarctica, so it's kind of a similar thing, which is really cool. I do think it's an interesting concept. There's a lot more to it that I definitely am not doing justice right now, but yeah, it's also known as the Law of the Sea is another name for it. But anyway, for this species identification, the magnificent catshark. Let's see. Things to watch out for are the large pectoral fin, the body brownish with dark spots and blotches, markings and spots variable in size, so complex pattern. Second dorsal fin, origin slightly forward of the anal fin origin, and greatly enlarged interior nasal flaps with posterior ends almost reaching the upper jaw. This feature always kills me because it's like, yes, I mean, if you're in the lab, you're able to tell the shark apart from other sharks, but in the wild, you know, that's really hard to tell apart. So, you know, and it's kind of funny. I mean, like the more you study sharks, like you kind of get a feel for who they are as far as like, especially for the Carcharodontis, you get a feel for like what makes a dusky shark, a sandbar shark, a bull shark. You can kind of feel them out a little bit. And hammerheads too. Hammerheads are really hard to tell apart, but eventually you do get to feel them out. As far as the one that I saw a couple years ago, the boat called them great hammerheads, but I think the boat got it wrong because they were kind of missing some of the details on like the dorsal fin. So it was a scalloped hammerhead that we were seeing, but they're hard to tell apart at a distance. But if you kind of pay attention to kind of the head shape or the little nuances here and there, you get a feel for what's a scalloped hammerhead, what's a great hammerhead. Point being, the nasal flaps are kind of a weird. Like that's a really hard feature to tell apart in life. So let's see some other. Do we have other Proscyllium? Okay, we do have. This is interesting. So the graceful catshark and the magnificent catshark do occupy the same range. You can immediately tell different color pattern. The graceful catshark has more of a uniform pattern, round dark spots and indistinct saddles. The second dorsal fin is a little bit posterior, like it's a little bit more backward, behind the anal fin origin, whereas in the magnificent catshark it's a little bit more forward. Let's see. They have the anterior nasal flap thing, but I don't think we really need to pay attention to that as much, personally. Finally, there's another one in the same family, Proscyllidae, the pygmy ribbon-tailed catshark. And this is actually really cool. That's almost like a non-existent lower caudal lobe. So caudal fin narrow and ribbon-like with prominent dark bands. So that's actually pretty easy to tell apart. So, dark brown body, long oval eyes, equal-sized dorsal fins, dark markings. Pretty cool. All right. So I kind of want to see who else is here. Actually, we got a lot of cool stuff. So this one is, I didn't see Howard tonight, but like this is one of his favorites, Hemipristis elongata, the fossil shark. This is related to, this is a Hemipristis, which is, I know our good friend Howard Care's favorite genus, but you know, this is also related to Hemipristis cera, which is the snaggletooth shark. So really, really wicked looking teeth. It's really cool. Like in Virginia, we have a lot of snaggletooth shark fossils, and I always thought that this group was extinct, but it's actually alive in the form of Hemipristis elongata. So pretty cool to see. I'm just kind of curious what sharks shared the home of the magnificent catshark. So we've got star-spotted smoothhound, white-finned smoothhound. I guess I won't read off any name, all the names, but I'll just read off the ones that are most interesting. Although, I mean, I love all sharks, so I guess maybe, you know what, I'll read off all the names because they're all interesting. So star-spotted smoothhound, white-finned smoothhound. These are muscless, so they're similar to the dusky smoothhound, kind of in our part of the world, but These guys look a little bit more extreme. They have a much larger first dorsal fin, which is so cool to see. You have the weasel shark, Hemigaleus microstoma. The graceful shark, Carcharodontis ambly rhynchoides. That one threw me off a couple streams ago. The gray reef shark, Carcharodontis ambly rhynchos. Ah, man, that's just, yeah, the names are too close. But gray reef sharks are famous for being very social and sometimes very aggressive. The bull shark, the classic bull shark, Carcharodontis lucus. Oh, the sandbar shark, Carcharodontis plumbus. So these are two familiar favorites. It's cool to see how cosmopolitan these two sharks are. Like they do occupy a lot of parts of the world. The white cheek shark, Carcharodontis jujot. The black spot shark, I'm not familiar with this one, Carcharodontis celii. Interesting. The silky shark, beautiful in life, Carcharodontis falciformis. Gorgeous, gorgeous, graceful species. The spinner shark, we talked about that one recently, Carcharodontis brevipinna. The common blacktip, Carcharodontis lymbatus, famous for taking huge migrations in the west coast of the United States. Blacktip reef shark, one of Rora Roy's favorites, beautiful color pattern on the fins. Spot tail shark, Carcharodontis sora, we saw that one recently as well. I don't think we did a stream on this, but we did see this one come up recently on a different stream. Blue shark, the classic Prianus glauca. White tip reef shark, unmistakable. Tiger shark. Oh, love that picture of a juvenile tiger shark on the right. But the oceanic white tip, dominating predator, very, very scary shark actually. One of the most dangerous. These two extremely dangerous species. Oh, there's more. The slit-eye shark, Loxodon macrinus. Milk shark, we did that one not recently, but we've done that one before. Rhizopriodon acutus. Gray sharp-nosed shark, Rhizopriodon oligolinx. The Pacific spade-nosed shark, Scoliodon macrorhynchos. Oh, hammerheads, here we go. Yeah, this is actually a good example, literally what I was talking about earlier. The great hammerhead and scout hammerhead. So, like, for me, the big things between these two is great hammerheads have like the sickle-shaped dorsal fin. They also, all of their fins have kind of like a sickle-like quality to them, and like the right word is falcate. They all have like a very sharp-looking quality to them, and the actual head of a great hammerhead is kind of like it's like a T-bone shape. It's like a very rigid-looking like a very, very firm looking shape, like an actual like bar, like a straight line almost. And then the scalloped hammerhead is more of a curve, like more of a graceful curve, and then softer features as far as like the fins go. So it's cool that they have them side by side because they look so similar, but you can kind of see like when you take a closer look, just those features where great hammerheads just look a lot more extreme. They do get bigger, a lot bigger than scalloped hammerheads, and they're a lot more scary looking, but really, really cool shark species. The winghead shark, really, we did this one, I think almost a year ago, but the most extreme of the hammerheads, and part of the extreme cephalofoil is to help the shark do this incredible turn as it hunts for prey. So, and all hammerheads do have that feature where the cephalofoil, so like the head, the unique head shape allows it to make these really incredible turns to look for prey. It also amplifies your senses of smell, binocular vision, the ampullae lorenzini, so the electromagnetic sense. Hammerheads are kind of the kings of just sensing their environment. And then finally, the heads actually help give the shark lift. So, like they actually help. This is why hammerhead sharks have small pectoral fins compared to other sharks. Is they don't really need large fins because the head is actually doing a lot of the work as far as kind of helping the shark lift in the water. So it's a really cool group. Down here, these are rays. So this is a shark ray, but this is actually a true kind of ray. So we'll go back up because I think we're missing some shark species at the top of this document. So, and it's rays are cool, but you know it's a shark stream, so we're just gonna focus on the sharks. So, hey Howard, what's up? What's up? Welcome back. Good to see you. So, hope you had a great weekend. Let's see. We're just covering the Magnificent Catshark, and I don't know if you noticed the where are we? The fossil shark, Hemipristis. Where are we? Oh, I had this. I might have passed. There he is, Hemipristis elongata. So we're looking at the Magnificent Catshark, and then Hemipristis elongata it occurs in the same range. So I did a little shout out, but glad you're here, so you can kind of see it. Because I know this is one of your favorite groups, you know, or even like not one of your. I think your favorite group is like the Hemipristis group. So, yeah, moving on the opposite end of the direction, more different kinds of cat sharks. So here's tonight's cat shark, the Magnificent Catshark, Proscyllium magnificum, and we did the graceful cat shark, which is a close cousin, the Indonesian speckled cat shark. This one's really cool looking. The black spotted cat shark, Heliolurus bergerii. Kind of love how simple that pattern is right there. That's a really pretty pattern down here. Kind of like yeah, just kind of like the it almost like these two ovals. This almost looks like I'm starting to kind of like act like I might be going a little nuts, but like just like you can almost see like a face here, like the two eyes, the nose, the mouth. Like, sorry, that's like really kind of caught my eye. It's so cool. Oh, is this the... Yeah, it's the coral cat shark. We recently covered this one, but it's just that unmistakable, beautiful white lines. The distinct white stripe through the gill slits, that was like one of the key features to help identify that species from other cat shark species. Bali cat shark. Oh yeah, it's so cool to look at it from the top. The spotted belly cat shark. Such a beautiful group. It's really fun to see like how different the cat shark color patterns are. Oh, the Sarawak pygmy swell shark. So it's kind of sad to see, but this shark is fine. I mean, this individual probably is deceased. Most of these photographs are of landed individuals, but the actual expansion of the belly is normal. This is how swell sharks get their name. They will suck in a lot of water like a pufferfish, or a lot of air, also like a pufferfish, and inflate their bellies, and that helps them be either indigestible, as far as if a predator is biting down on them, they can expand their bodies and kind of like lodge themselves in the predator's throat, or probably more usefully is they can wedge themselves into rock environments, and that way they're not dislodged by predators. So you know what I just realized, kind of related to that, and let me know what you guys think about this, by the way. Like, I wonder if that is related to octopi. You know, so I wonder if that is kind of related to just like, I'm actually literally thinking about this live, like out loud, but because I'm thinking of like what kind of animals would actually grab a shark from like a rock crevice. And you know, you could have like fish, you know, that like, you know, kind of, you know, grab them with their mouths, but you know, when I really think about it, it's like for a swell shark to benefit from lodging itself into environment and to not be pulled out, when you really think about it, it's like I wonder if that is a benefit for octopuses, like, or octopi. Both are correct, but you know, like octopi kind of navigating the rocky marine environment. So and like using tentacles to kind of like grab different prey items, including sharks, because octopi do go after sharks. So I wonder if this is something that I'm kind of curious if this is something that evolved with them specifically, though. Lambda Day, we got classics like the Lomfimeko. It's really cool to see this one. Oh, sweet, yeah, Howard, love Indonesian marine fauna. Absolutely, like it's so cool. It's so cool to see like just like the biodiversity of a completely different part of the world. As far as like I'm used to a kind of a Carcharinus skew, you know, and it's cool to see. There's such richness of cat sharks here. They're all so colorful, so it's really cool to see that. So we got the longfin mako, you know, very close cousin of the shortfin mako, but you have obviously like the very long pectoral fins, almost reminiscent of a blue shark. The big eye thresher, Alopius superciliosus. So it's like the classic thresher. The eyes are abnormally big. This is actually not really a good view of how huge those eyes are. They almost look like kind of like possum eyes. So let's see. The crocodile shark. By the way, crocodile shark is the most popular one. I'm just gonna check the live count. The crocodile shark is the most popular one as far as like the live streams go. Like that one is like really hitting the algorithm really well. So, oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. I think we're at like 400 views, which is really fun. Did I already get? Oh, pelagic thresher. Sorry, I missed this one. Pelagic thresher, Alopius pelagicus. So this one, I forget what makes this different from the classic thresher shark. Other than I believe it spends most of its time in the open ocean, and the classic thresher shark kind of does a mix of open ocean and near shore environments. So. I'm sorry, just checking the weather. Also, I was mentioning to Mingus at the top of the stream, and also checking the crocodile shark video has 420 views, so 420 blaze it. Anyway, actually, I didn't mean that. I didn't say that. Sorry, this is a family channel. But anyway, I was mentioning to Mingus at the top of the stream that there is a storm rolling in tonight. So just in case I disappear, it's just losing power with the weather. So far we've been doing good. We've been cracking on for an hour plus, so I think we're probably okay for the rest of the night, but hasn't affected anything yet. We've got the zebra shark. It's really cool to see the different life stages. You have the newborn, which mimics sea crates, the juvenile with prominent ridges on the dorsal surfaces, and then the adult, which has, it's cool to see the dark black and white bands transform into something that's intermediate between the adults, like beautiful yellow phase with like the black spots. So it's really cool metamorphosis. Well, I guess it's not metamorphosis, but it's like really cool growth like throughout its life, like the change in color pattern throughout its life. The tawny nurse shark, this is one of Roy's favorites, but really cool to see the nurse shark species, but with like these angular pectoral fins and caudal fins, so very cool. The Indonesian bamboo shark, the brown banded bamboo shark. I love that these look so much like nurse sharks, but they're just, you know, much smaller size and, you know, slightly different features. It's also cool to see with carpet sharks, they occupy a very similar niche to cat sharks, but they look really different. I mean, they occupy very similar niche to cat sharks, but they're evolution-wise in a very different part of the tree. So they're in a completely different order. So we got the white-spotted bamboo shark, the slender bamboo shark. Oh, angel sharks. We've got the ostellated angel shark. Interesting. The dorsal fins are pretty interesting. Very squared off with a concave like curve on the inner margin, so it's pretty cool to see. And actually very large pectoral fins. I feel like for an angel shark, those are actually really large. So beautiful species. Good. The Indonesian woebegone. It's a new one, very famous bullhead shark species. So very prominent dorsal fins. Actually, I kind of recommend we cover a bullhead shark maybe next stream, because like this one's gorgeous. Like this is a really cool species. A gulper shark, so small fin gulper dogfish, Centrophorus. Some of the rarest sharks in the world are gulper sharks. Squalus megalops, pike spur dog, short-nosed spur dog. Pretty classic deep water kind of dogfish. The western hyphen spur dog. Cool. Hexanthus nakamura, the big eye six-gill shark. What a wicked photo of this individual. The blunt-nosed six-gill shark, deep water giant. And then the sharp-nosed seven-gill shark with wicked teeth. So, and it's also a really good photo. I think that's it. So that was a really cool tour of this is Southeast Asian. Do I have that right? Southeast Asian sharks and rays. Southeast Asian region. Yep. So very cool tour. Okay. Let's see. So here's some actual research on the. Oh, cool! Awesome. Octopi and large squid. Sorry, I just saw your comment, Howard. So octopi and large squid. I never thought about squid being a predator as well, but that actually makes sense that they would actually do that. So really cool. Threshers are cool to addition. Absolutely agree. They're such a unique group, both like with their tooth type and also like the long tail used to stun prey. So cool. Oh my gosh. Angel sharks are dope. Yes. Like it's so cool. Just like their body type, and I love how they're a unique collection of like about a dozen or so species. We covered a few already, and I thought there was an angel shark thing that happened recently. I'm trying to remember if I had that correctly, because I was reading up on my sand devils recently, and I think I saw a cool video of a diver with one or something. I forget. I have to come back to that. Midge is definitely down for that. Yes. So let's double check. I'm going to double check what kinds of bullhead sharks we've done. And then I also want to highlight for Howard a couple of the different cat sharks that we have. So this is the closest living individual to, or the closest footage that we have to tonight's species, the magnificent catshark. I'm also just double checking how many kinds of bullhead sharks that we've done. So cow sharks, saw sharks. Okay, good, because I think we just did the horn shark and the Port Jackson shark, so zebra bullhead would actually be a good pick. So for next week. But yeah, this is a really cool group. Alright. So yeah, let's learn about the magnificent cat sharks. This one was the graceful cat shark, also known as finback cat shark. So it's the closest relative to the magnificent catshark. Magnificent catshark unfortunately doesn't have any footage. We have a few photographs. I had a prominent one, this one. So this is the best photograph that we have of this species, which apparently in life is very beautiful. So let's read up on kind of the history of this animal. So here we go. A new finback catshark, Proscyllium magnificum, from the northeastern Indian Ocean. So a new finback catshark, Proscyllium magnificum, is described from the Andaman Sea off the coast of Myanmar. It represents the second valid species of the genus and the first occurrence of the group in the eastern Indian Ocean. Within the family Proscyllidae, it shares with its congener Proscyllium haberii from the western Pacific large anterior nasal flaps with their posterior ends almost reaching the symphysis of the upper jaw. So the symphysis is that little tiny middle tooth in the right in the middle between, or like right in the middle, or the center of the jaw. So right at the anterior edge. So it's kind of like, imagine it's a little tooth between your two front teeth, if like kind of as a human equivalent. So Like imagine your two front teeth as a human, and imagine there's like a tiny little tooth in between them, and that's the symphysis in the shark. So, but it differs from Proscyllium haberii in possessing a greatly enlarged lobe at the angle of each flap. It also differs in having the second dorsal fin origin slightly forward of the anal fin origin, larger head dimensions, relatively longer and lower labial furrows, large pectoral and caudal fins, a shorter interdorsal distance, a lower vertebral count, and more striking color pattern. I love that that's like the last feature, because I feel like that's the easiest feature to use as far as identifying the species. So I'm just gonna take a drink of kombucha and coffee. It's a strange combo, but I'm kind of rocking with it. There we go. All right. The marine benthic biodiversity of the Thai sector of the Oman Sea has been investigated. A series of surveys commenced in 1966. I'll just scan through this just to kind of learn more about this area. A joint Thai-Burmese survey of the continental shelf off the Myanmar coast in 1989 yielded important biological material and some possible endemics. So endemic species, these are species that live in a very restricted range and can only be found in this unique part of the world. So and it's hard to find endemic. Well, actually, let me phrase that. It's typically, at least in the United States, it's hard to find an endemic shark because most of our sharks are migratory. Actually, I think all of our sharks are migratory. Let me make sure I have that right. I'm just kind of mentally going through all the sharks that we have. Most of them are migratory. I think even maybe the deep water sharks, I don't really know. The only ones that wouldn't be migratory are the cat sharks. So, okay, so I take that back. So I'm used to a lot of sharks being migratory because kind of where I live, these are like your mackerel sharks and your like bull sharks. Like these are, or hammerheads. These are all species that go up and down the coast. Blacktip sharks are the most famous group of sharks that go up and down the coast each year. But when you think of cat sharks, like the chain cat shark, those live in deep. Chain cat sharks live in deep water environments. Coral cat sharks or other cat sharks, like the Magnificent Catshark, they live in, or we don't know if the Magnificent Catshark lives in reefs. Other cat sharks do live in reefs, so they actually have high sight fidelity. So I guess I take that back. Like, I'm used to sharks being migratory, but there are groups of sharks that, and we've seen it on the stream, that do have sight fidelity, that do like to stick around in specific coral reefs. And it can be the case that there are sharks that may be found only in one group of reefs. Sharks being so large and typically so wide dispersing and like almost like uniquely cosmopolitan, it's harder to find an endemic shark, but it is possible that there's a shark that lives in just one region of the world. So I'm sorry. So yeah, there are. I had to mentally like talk that through for myself. So there are endemic sharks. I feel like it's kind of not the norm for a shark to be endemic, but there are unique situations in which a shark can be only found in one part of the world, only one reef, only one area. So, and I wish I could name examples like right off the top of my head. Because the only one this is not a good example because Port Jackson sharks are very wide-reaching, but I'm trying to think of a good example. I mean, you can make an argument that a Magnificent Catshark, you could maybe make an argument that this is an endemic species, depending on what this ecoregion is. I think this is just one region, so you know what? Let's see if we can check that. Because I actually want to figure that out. There we go. I want this one. I love the concept of ecoregions. This is one of the uses of ecoregions, and I want to see this map. I don't want to download it. I want to explore it. Okay. It's always a pain to figure out how this works. I don't want to download it. I want to use it. This might be it, the database and website. I think I remember that being... There we go. Okay. I'll put this in the chat too. Sorry, I love this data viewer. This is marine ecoregions of the world. We've talked about ecoregions before, but this is a very handy breakup of the ocean as far as kind of like identifying... come on. Areas... Oh, I just realized, by the way, I mean, like, I'm actually doing perfectly fine, but I just realized... There we go. Yeah, this is working. I just realized that, I think you guys have probably heard by now the whole, like, airplane thing. Like, the whole, there was, like, a service provider that crashed as far as, like, the internet goes. So there's, like hospitality companies and airlines and things that are kind of not working because of it. So I was just thinking, like, oh, I wonder if that impacts any of my internet stuff, and looks like it doesn't. So here we go. So marine ecoregions of the world, this is a very handy framework. Oh, let me put this in the chat so that everybody has it. Okay. So marine ecoregions of the world is a very handy way to break down different regions, and for tonight we're just going to check to see if the Magnificent Catshark is found in just one ecoregion, and if it is, you can make an argument that it's an endemic species. It can only be found in this one region of the world. Based on this, it looks like it's found technically in multiple regions. So let's cross-reference. I love doing this with IUCN Red List. So we've got the Andaman Sea right here. We've got the Catshark's range, the Magnificent Catshark's range around this island near Port Blair, and then you have it kind of more on the coastline here. So let's see. As far as the island region of Port Blair, this is its own thing. This is... Oh, sorry. I want to identify this. Show me what this is. I know this can show me what this is. Nope. Come on. No. There we go. Identity. Andaman and Nicobar Islands is its own ecoregion, but this is something different. This is Andaman South Coral Coast. Okay. So these are two different ecoregions. Their mapping is also really weird in here, by the way. I don't know why it's looking like that. That's really weird. Okay, but anyway, these are two different ecoregions. So, so in that sense, the so kind of cross-referencing, you have the shark kind of off the coast here, up here. So shark, one part of the shark's range is here. One part of the shark's range is this island in Port Blair, and then finally you have a part of the range down here, which looks like that's still part of this ecoregion. So the Magnificent Catshark is part of two different ecoregions, the Andaman Sea Coral Coast, and then the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now what's interesting is how ecoregions are broken up. They're broken up firstly into realms, so the Western Indo-Pacific, then into provinces, which is the Andaman, and then finally into ecoregions, which is the most unique unit. So the shark is endemic to the Andaman province, which is really cool, but it's not endemic to the Andaman and Nicobar Islands because it's also occurring in the Andaman Sea Coral Coast. And these boundaries, they're not arbitrary. I mean, like, technically they're arbitrary because, you know, like, humans made them, but like they're not arbitrary in the sense like they're not based on nothing. There's something different between these two habitats. You know, there's some kind of biological barrier or ecological barrier that makes these two habitats a bit different. So I'm not as familiar with this part of the world, but kind of as a reference for an area that I am familiar with. And I think we might have done this before, so just in case, I won't spend too much time on this, but here's my home ecoregion, the Virginian Marine Ecoregion. You can see it's bordering the Carolinian Marine Ecoregion. and the Gulf of Maine Bay of Fundy. So these three regions are very distinct. The reason being is down here, the Gulf Stream is very close to the coast and it's very warm down in the Carolinian ecoregion. Then it starts to go offshore right here, right where this line is. So the water in this ecoregion is very warm, whereas the water in this ecoregion is very cold, and so the kinds of animals that you can see are very different. This is a very meaningful boundary line. So that's the southern boundary of the Virginian versus the Carolinian, is the Gulf Stream. You know, there's a meaningful difference between these two parts of the sea. And then likewise up here, so the Virginia Marine ecoregion and then the Gulf of Maine Bay of Fundy. Around here is an underwater feature called George's Bank, as well as the New England Seamounts, but really George's Bank is like the big one. And I think the Nantucket Shoals a little bit, but this is kind of a unique area that it's kind of like a natural barrier between a lot of the animals that live in this slightly, like, this is like cool water here, and then the Gulf of Maine Bay of Fundy is like straight up like cold North Atlantic water. And this feature of George's Bank kind of separates the two groups of animals, as far as like, it just is kind of like inconvenient enough of a feature or kind of large enough of a barrier to kind of interfere with water flow, interfere with kind of habitat type as far as like the bottom environment goes. So the animals that live in the Gulf of Maine Bay of Fundy are far more similar to each other than they are in the Virginia Marine ecoregion. So George's Bank is a meaningful boundary between the two regions. So, which is really cool to see. So ecoregions, like that's just one example. It can be like water currents. It can be like the presence or absence of coral or seagrass. It can be a lot of different things that make ecoregions unique. So I love this guide. I think it's really interesting. So if you guys enjoy kind of playing around with it, I sent the link in the chat. And then tonight I want to check to see if the Magnificent Catshark occupied one ecoregion, which was endemic to that one region. But it looks like it occupies two. So we'll go back to that article. Talk about the first description, species. There we go. Oh, thank you, Mitch. It's always interesting to learn about it. Yeah, I love the concept of ecoregions. I think they're so interesting. And I think they're really helpful. They're very helpful for building conservation strategy. Like, they're very helpful for kind of like, I don't know, kind of like organizing one's understanding of the sea. I think they're very helpful. So. Let's see. So we're talking about endemics. Some of this material is deposited in collections of the Fugget Marine Biological Center by Mr. Weir Pokepunt. Included in the collection was the new shark, new species of the genus Proscyllium. Let's see. Okay, so the first observation of the species, the scientists concluded that the forms were morphologically similar, differing only in color. So the Magnificent Catshark has a far more complicated color pattern than the graceful catshark. Okay. We don't really need to go into material and methods. Here is a black and white. Oh, that's actually a pretty good picture. That's actually a really nice resolution. This is a good black and white printout of the new, the Magnificent Catshark. So you can see that complex color pattern. One thing that immediately strikes me is like just the difference in the sizes of the blotches. Like they're very, and spots. They're very different and very complex. Quite cool to see. Excuse me. Very specific measurements, so we don't need to really go into that in detail. I think I'm hearing some thunder outside, so we're gonna press on, but I think I heard a rumble. Very detailed descriptions, so we don't need to read the whole thing. I do want to read the coloration though, so because that probably would add to the vocabulary. As far as like trying to identify, it's a really beautiful shark. It's very colorful. So. They're doing my coffee kombucha combo. I'm not doing this for any particular reason, by the way. I was asking my girlfriend, like, you know, I'm in the mood for either kombucha or coffee. I can't pick one. Which one do you think I should do for tonight? And she said, why not both? And I was like, that's a good point. And yeah, that's why we're dating, because she finds the best option, like the correct option. The answer is both. So why pick? Oh my gosh. So anyway, coloration: upper body and sides medium brownish, strongly marbled. Ooh, marbled. Okay, that's a good way to describe it. With darker spots and blotches. Markings variable in size, mostly small, but varying from smaller than spherical to larger than eye. Ventral surface almost uniformly white, dusky with a few blotches in some paratypes. Dorsal head medium brown, 2 prominent broken saddles, less distinct in paratype, 1 through eyes, as 3 pseudo-ocelli. Beautiful terminology, pseudo-ocelli. Oh my goodness. And 1 over anterior gill slits, saddle consisting of small, irregular, darker brown spots, anterior and posterior margins of hind saddle almost linear. Space between saddles of holotype mainly plain brown with narrow, west slow defined, transverse darker broken band. Let's see. Wow, very detailed. This is amazing. This is all about color, and it's just very, very detailed. I love this word, marbling and ocelli. Dorsal and caudal fins covered entirely with dense marbling of small and large spots. Oh, look at this. Ventral base is white or dusky. Outer portion in holotype uniformly bluish. The upper surface of pectoral and pelvic fins with few weak spots in some paratypes. Bluish. That's kind of interesting because we saw a photograph. Where is this photo? There was a photograph of the species that had bluish markings, and I thought that was edited. This one, here we go. I almost thought that was a mistake, but that actually... Is this biological? Hold on. Look at that. So, see how it's a beautiful like aquamarine shade on the pectoral fin, or the pelvic fins, and a little bit on the rear portion of the pectoral fins. Really pretty color. I thought this was a photograph thing. Like I thought this was like a photograph of an individual, maybe in a tank environment. So I didn't think that this would actually perhaps be part of its natural color pattern right here, and that's really beautiful if it is. That's actually a gorgeous, gorgeous shark if that's actually part of its natural color. You know, just having that nice mix of like orange and blue. That's really cool. Wow. Let's see if I can get a better angle so you can see the whole shark. There we go. That's a nice view of the whole animal. So, but yeah. And it's weird. This photograph, I feel like this is a strange photograph because, like, I mean, the tail end is like so black and white that this has got to be like a weird composite image. And yet, it's just so interesting that like they mentioned that the pectoral fins have a bluish tinge to them, and that in this particular photograph. You can see a really brilliant aquamarine right there. So I don't know. It's actually pretty interesting. So yeah. Oh, oh, man, just does it both really work well together? No, it doesn't. I mean, it's actually okay. The kombucha coffee combo, it's okay. So, but yeah, it's it's. I think it's just selfishly like I can't pick which one. So, but yeah, but it's not really there's no great secret. We have not cracked a coffee kombucha code, so. But kombucha is good for you, so I'll take that. So, let's see. We know the etymology magnificus in reference to strikingly beautiful color pattern. Remarks: unusual proscyllium shark with a unique color pattern. We talked about those features. Talked about the same thing where the graceful cat shark has a less complex color pattern. Okay. Okay, so this is a really good article in terms of like the original description, and it goes into so much detail in terms of what makes this shark. You could just see columns of just specific measurements, and it's what you need to do, but it's we don't need to go into the whole detail on the stream, so we'll kind of move forward as far as more we can learn as far as the Magnificent Catshark goes, but also. Yeah, okay is better than bad, so thank you. Also, sounds like in the chat the zebra bullhead, both Mingus and Howard are cool with it, so I think that's going to be good for next week's shark, so I'm really, really excited about that. Let's see. So, first report of the Magnificent Catshark, Proscyllium magnificum, 2004, let's see. So it's around the same year as the original description of the species, so... Present paper reports the occurrence of Magnificent Catshark, Proscyllium magnificum, from Indian Exclusive Economic Zone off Andaman Islands in the Bay of Bengal. The two specimens caught by deep sea trawlers off South and Sentinel Island at a depth of 300 meters. And this sounds so familiar. Is this is it's not the same one? Okay. Why does it sound so familiar? Okay, that sounds really familiar, but we'll read the introduction. The finback catshark family. I think this was taken word for word from a summary. The finback catshark family Proscyllidae consists of very small, poorly known deepwater sharks that have no commercial importance in fishery and very rarely occur in landings as bycatch, mostly in trawls. Proscyllidae contains 6 valid species. The present report confirms the occurrence of the Magnificent Catshark in Indian Exclusive Economic Zone and provides a new distribution record for the species. The 2 specimens of finback catshark were collected on 4th of March 2014 from the bycatch landings of deep-sea shrimp trawler operated off south of South Sentinel Island in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. I also want to replay music. Sorry, this is Subnautica again. Love that soundtrack. At 300 meters depth, let's see. Small, slender finback catshark with beautiful markings. They talk about the specific features. There we go. This is kind of a new image. And you can actually see really how small these are. So if that is a foot-long ruler, very, very little shark. Man, gorgeous, gorgeous color pattern. Look at this. This is really interesting. So these are 2 individuals of the same species, but the blotches are very, very different on the back. Actually, yeah, really, really different. Are these... Yeah, these are the same species. But look at this. Like, this individual has kind of like this center area of like small spots between these 2 bars. And then small spots populating this area kind of in this like oscillated pattern. Whereas this individual is a lot more bare looking. One thing to wonder is, does every individual have a unique spot pattern, and can you identify individuals based on that pattern? So, and they actually use that for whale sharks. You can identify whale sharks individual whale sharks, just like individual whales. Like, you know how you can identify whales like humpback whales based on their dorsal fin, or sorry, their flukes. Like every whale's fluke looks a little bit different, and you can use it to identify individuals. They do that with whale sharks, where the whale shark's spot pattern is just a little bit different between individuals, so they use that to identify individuals. I wonder if you could probably do the same for the Magnificent Catshark, where it's like you can see little differences in the color pattern to identify individuals. It's really cool, because these two look different. It's not just the size. Like the arrangement of the spots is different between these two individuals. Like you can even see it on the even the pectoral fins. This one has like a central spot and 3 others around it. So I could like just say this individual's name is Clover because he has like these 4 spots, so like a 4-leaf clover. So let's say I call this one Clover, and then this guy, doesn't have the same kind of pattern. He's kind of got these like 2 spots, like one near the body, one away from it. So I don't know. I guess I'll name this one 2-spot. It's not really a good name, but 2-spot or bandy or something, because he has like more like these bare bands, and this one Clover because he has like the 4 spots here. So it's kind of cool. Like these are two sharks of the same species, but you can see a difference in the color pattern. So it's actually really, really cool to see that play out. And that's actually really fun with sharks with a color pattern, because other sharks like there is a great paper about bull sharks occupying a reef environment, and they were identifying different individuals just because they knew them for a long time, but it's so hard to tell them apart at first glance because bull sharks have just a uniform pattern, just like that slate gray color. So it's really cool to see sharks with a color pattern like as complicated as a magnificent cat shark, that you can identify it to an individual level. So, oh my goodness. So, but that bull shark study, by the way, that was a lot of fun because they were starting to observe personality types. Some bull sharks were a little bit shy. Some bull sharks yielded to other bull sharks. There was one that they named the Joker because he had, or Joker, because he had a fishing wound that kind of gave him like a big, not a smile, but kind of like his jaw was kind of a lot more elongated and exaggerated because he had a fishing wound. And so it almost gave him the impression of having the exaggerated smile that the Heath Ledger Joker had, and so they named that one Joker. And I forget Joker's personality type as far as the bull sharks go. There are a couple of very large females. There are some that had like kind of like marks on their fins. One of them I think was named Scar because he had a very prominent like bite mark on his body. It was a really cool paper where they were just talking about each individual, their habits. Some are quick to take bait, some are a bit shyer. If I'm not mistaken, this is in Becca Lagoon in Fiji, which is a very famous bull shark dive spot. So, but anyway, I also love that too. Like, it's cool to get to that granular level where it's like sharks can be, not all sharks are the same. They're all different species. But even within species, there are different individuals. One of the most famous white shark advocates, Rodney Fox, made that comment as well, that some great white sharks just behave differently in the water, where some are very shy, some are a bit more aggressive. Like it's cool to see, like it's not this one personality type, within the species. Like each one's a little bit different. Like each individual is a little bit different. So it's so cool to see that. And it also kind of lends itself to the reality that like no two sharks are alike, and sharks are not like, they're not this like archetype, they're not this one concept. Like each one, each individual is uniquely survived into this era, and there's some aspects of its physiology, of its biology. I almost want to say personality. I don't know if that's inappropriate to say as far as a shark goes, but like It's just really cool to see that each one is living. It's not just that it's a bull shark. It's like it's this kind of lifestyle. It's this kind of bull shark, the one that is more aggressive or less aggressive, more cautious. That's kind of succeeding. It's just so cool that there's a degree of nuance within a species. It's just so interesting to me. So, let's see. First specimens of the species was collected in 1989 during a joint Thai-Burmese survey of the Myanmar continental shelf. However, the present collection depth was deeper than the known habitat and occurred as bycatch of deep-sea shrimp trawls. Let's see. Proscyllium magnificum is a recently described small and rare shark which have no importance in fishery and is not evaluated against the IUCN Red List status criterion. So that's updated. It's now near threatened. The diversity of marine fauna of Andaman waters of India, and especially Lazarus are largely unknown, and more studies are needed from region for exploring the diversity. So that's actually kind of exciting because this might be an area where there's actually maybe a lot more shark species, and it's just a reminder there's some parts of the ocean that are not really fully explored. So it's really cool to see that there's probably I will stick by my gut feeling prediction number that I think I have a bizarre feeling there's 1,000 sharks in the world when all is said and done. And by the time we finish identifying species living in species complexes genetically, or we get to deeper parts of the ocean, or like just kind of survey places that haven't really been surveyed before, I feel like the grand total is going to be 1,000. So we are currently in the mid 500s. Let's actually check Wikipedia really quick, which bizarrely has the current count of sharks. Shark list. $512. That actually is outdated. It's a lot more than that. I actually think Wikipedia lists a lot more than that, and the summary is outdated. How many shark species are there? Because I think that count is different. 530 says the World Wildlife Fund. So, and by the way, this is wild. When I was a kid, it was like 360. So it's exploded. Like I'm a reasonably young person, and it's exploded. Like the amount of species that have been discovered. So. Let's see. We read this article. We read this one. I don't think. I think this is more of a checklist. So I don't think. Yeah. I think that's kind of more of a checklist. Let's see. This is more of a generic study, like kind of including all sharks. This one we've seen before, but I think this is a good one to kind of wrap up. I think this study is really fascinating, and I think this is probably a good one to close up for the night. So this is the combining paleontological and neontological data shows a delayed diversification burst of carchariniform sharks likely mediated by environmental change. So we'll read this because it does include our shark species, and it puts in the context of just like, it's a really cool study kind of putting things into evolutionary context. But here we go. This is by Baptiste Brie, Fabien L. Condamine, and Guillaume. Oh, I'm so sorry if I'm not saying this correctly. Guillaume Guinal. So I apologize if that's not correct. Estimating deep time species level diversification process remains challenging, but the fossil record and molecular phylogenies allow the estimation of speciation and extinction rates, but each type of data may still provide an incomplete picture of diversification dynamics. Here we combine species level paleontological fossil occurrences and neontological molecular phylogenies data to estimate deep time diversity dynamics through process-based birth-death models for carchariniforms, the most specious shark order today. It's cool that they're doing this because I do love this study because it is really cool to see that cochrandoforms like are the dominant force of sharks in the ocean now, and that I feel like lamniforms were really the big ones before cochrandoforms really came to the scene. And like quite literally, like Megalodon was a lamniform. So, despite their abundant fossil records dating back to the Middle Jurassic, only a small fraction of extant cochrandoform species is recorded as fossils, which impedes relying only on the fossil record to study their recent diversification. Combining fossil and phylogenetic data, we recover a complex evolutionary history of cochrandoforms, exemplified by several variations in diversification rates with an early low diversity period, followed by a Cenozoic radiation. So I'm kind of curious if that's related to like the meteor, like the K2 meteor that impacted the world and wiped out the dinosaurs. Like after that point, was there a kind of like a similar impact in which in the Cenozoic era, just as mammals flourished, cochrandoforms radiated as well, and they became more diverse. We further reveal a burst of diversification the last 30 million years, which is partially recorded with fossil data only. We also find that reef expansion and temperature change can explain variations in speciation and extinction through time. Oh, cool. These results, so reef expansion, so the growth of coral reefs, and temperature change, gotcha, are what kind of led to the rise of the cochrandoforms. These results pinpoint the primordial importance of these environmental variables in the evolution of marine clads. Our study also highlights the benefit of combining the fossil record with phylogenetic data to address macroevolutionary questions. Very cool. So we won't have time to go through this paper in detail. I think the next time we do talk about a shark species that does not have a lot of data, this paper usually is kind of like a catch-all for a lot of sharks, so I think we can go into this more in detail next time, but let's figure out where, here we go. Okay, here we go. Alright, so I did control find Proscyllium, just to kind of, and actually we'll be more considerate as far as Proscylliidae. Here we go. Because this actually might be some interesting insight into the family. The Magnificent Catshark's family is the finback catsharks, Proscylliidae. So let's see. The close relationship between the families Proscylliidae and Pseudotriachidae, estimated crown ages between 118 million years ago. So 90 to 143 million years ago. So what is that time period? Cretaceous period. Okay, Cretaceous period. So let's see. And then 122 million years ago, 94 to 146 million years ago. Okay, so this is Cretaceous period. I'm just checking the little chart that I have on the top. So yeah. Let's see. Okay, sorry. The close relationship with the families Proscylliidae and Pseudotriachidae is strongly supported. These clades being sister to all non-scaleridid, atelomicturid, pentanchid cochrandoforms. Okay, so that's actually really cool because Scalaridae is like the classic cat sharks, like the chain cat shark. So let's go back to this one. So this is Scalarinus radifer. So this is like a classic cat shark. This is just like, pretty diverse family. There's a lot of different kinds of Scalaridids. And it's kind of cool to see that these guys, the Proscylliidae, the finback cat sharks, broke off and are actually more related to Pseudotriachidae. And it's kind of cool. Literally the Latin word Pseudotriachidae would mean kind of like a triachid, so kind of like a hound shark. And it's kind of cool because you can see physically, I mentioned at the top of the stream, it does look very similar to a classic hound shark, just with how big those dorsal fins look. That does look like a smooth hound almost. So And even kind of like the narrowness of the snout, it is quite reminiscent of a smoothhound. So, where? Oh, here we are. Sorry. Don't want to lose my place. Okay. However, our results do not confirm the monophyly of the Proscylliids. Some species of the genus Proscyllium being more closely related to Pseudotrachidae than to other Proscylliids, but support for the corresponding node is weak in the 4 analyses. Interesting. So, it could be, and we'll take a closer look here, it could be that the Magnificent Catshark might be more closely related. Oh, here we go. More closely related to other groups. Oh, there we go. So, okay. Here we go. So, let's see. Okay, so you've got the timeline on the bottom. So, you've got the Jurassic era. Or, sorry, the Jurassic period. Here we go. So, way in the early Jurassic, you have the split of the Scalariinidae in yellow versus all the other Carcharodontiforms. So Scalariinidae is very deeply removed from the rest of the order. Also in the early Jurassic, you have a split of the green line. So this is Atelomictoridae. I'm not as familiar with that group of cat sharks, but that seems to have split from the rest of the order. Okay, and then finally in the upper Jurassic, you've got a split in the purple line. These are Pentankidae, a different kind of cat shark. Aposturus are like the demon cat sharks or ghost cat sharks. Galeus is a another classic kind of cat shark. So these guys are all split up before we even get anywhere near our Magnificent Catshark. So it's really cool to see. So right at the end of the Jurassic period and kind of getting into the Cretaceous period, we start to see, and actually definitely getting into the Cretaceous period, we start to see the rise of Proscylliidae, so the finback cat sharks. Let's go in. Here we go. And then here's Proscyllium magnificum. So the Magnificent Catshark, and this is so interesting. This one is actually potentially more closely related to Tenacious than it is to the other Proscylliums, and that even Aerodactylus, it actually might be more closely related to Aerodactylus and Tenacious than the other guys. And it seems like the Magnificent Catshark rose around, just following this bar down, the Miocene, so which is a very popular fossil period for cat sharks. So this also might be a pretty conservative estimate, but it's really cool to see this. So. All right, and then by comparison, so Proscylliidae, broke off from everything else in the Cretaceous era, and then there's another split with Proscylliidae and then Pseudotrachidae. Pseudotrachids broke off in the Cretaceous as well. So, and then kind of more deeply down the line, you have Leptocaridae, you have the Triachidae. So I keep talking about Triachidae like the hound sharks, so that broke off in the late Cretaceous. And then you have the rest, Hemigaliidae, Hemipristis. One of Howard's favorite is also further down the line, so that broke off in the upper Cretaceous period. Very cool. Galeocerdidae, so the tiger shark is its own family. The Sphaernidae, the hammerhead sharks, and then finally the Carcharodontidae, the classic ground sharks. So, man, this is so cool. Love phylogenetic trees. So yeah. So when we look at the whole picture, so the Proscylliidae, the Magnificent Catshark, is in the orange. That's a pretty interesting group. It is quite distantly related from the classic cat sharks. Like those broke off a long time ago. Literally in the Jurassic period. And our magnificent catshark rose in the Cretaceous. So that's actually really cool to see that how deep that group goes. So. Yep, so let me go ahead. I'm going to share this article as well because we are at 11. So I'll put this in the chat so that everybody has it, because it's a really cool phylogeny to just take a look at in detail. Especially like I feel like a huge part of our community loves the paleontology and shark evolution. I do as well. I've really learned a lot from the community for that. So yeah, so I'll leave that in the chat. But it looks like it's 11 o'clock, so I think we're going to wrap up for the night. But man, that was a really cool shark. Really, really cool stream. So really appreciate everybody watching. Thank you so much for watching for tonight. And I'm really... Oh yeah, Midge, this is one of those papers you could stare at for hours. Oh my goodness, yes, absolutely. So, but thank you guys so much for watching. This was super fun to watch, and I'm really glad we made it and we beat the storm. I was getting nervous that I was actually going to knock the power out, but we got it. So, awesome. So, but Midges, congratulations again. Thank you guys for joining for tonight, and thank you for tuning in to this year's shark contest as far as the banner contest goes. Really, really love the submissions, so thank you guys so much for watching. We will be back next week for the zebra shark. Oh, Howard, let's see. So yeah, like I have an image of the Pondicherry shark. Sorry, I just saw your comment. I do have an image of the Pondicherry shark, but this came in today, and the deadline was Sunday. So, but I'll take a look at it. Was this the banner image? Like I see save the Pondicherry shark. Carcharinus hemiodon. And no worries if it's not. If you could just send me just a banner so I can at least showcase it for next week's stream. I would love to see it. And also the Pondicherry shark artwork is fantastic. So okay, yeah, no worries. So I'm going to showcase the Pondicherry shark for next week. Because like I haven't had time to like crop it in the right way and edit it, but I do want to showcase it. So and I'll actually I'll post it on the community chat as well. So but yeah, so yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Next week we'll cover the zebra shark, and yeah, looking forward to that. So cheers everybody, have a good night, and I'll see you soon for the zebra shark. Bye.